Nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, ka. Nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, nangangati na naman ang itlog ko, ka. What's up YouTube, it's your boy Dashing and we are back with another draft league. So at the point of recording this, we're almost done with the TPL finals. I wanted to schedule my game before doing this, but my boy Aukan doesn't, want to play yet. He wants to wait a little longer, so the boy's making me wait. In the meantime, we'll just go through with this. So I decided to join one of the draft league of the Goon squad actually. So this is the Summer Champions Draft League. As you can see in the logo at the bottom left. And very interesting. I'm gonna be coaching Team Kati Itlog, Kati Itlog. Alright. So in this league, it's a typical Facebook league, which basically means they allow max mons, which is fine. I can't really criticize it because our league does the same, but of course in our league we do have Ubers there, so there's more than one way to, you're not really screwed if you have a bad max mon matchup in that case. So yeah, so for this league, here's the format's gonna be here. So we have 1 G Max, 1 D Max, a tier 1, 2 tier 2s, 2 tier 3s, 2 tier 4s, and 3 tier 5s. Now, very interesting tier list they had. It was really congested, or is that the right word? The pools for tier 1 and 2 were very shallow. Tier 4 was surprisingly wide, like almost as wide as tier 5 to be honest. So very interesting there. They had like a point system for the G Max and the D Max, so you can't really have like top tier G Max with a tier 1 max one. So I was like number 18 out of 20, so we got 20 players in the draft, and by the time it came to me, I wasn't really sure, because since I was number 18, I could expect a lot of the mons that I was eyeing was gonna get sniped. The pool is kinda shallow, and with 20 players, you can only imagine everyone's getting sniped left and right. So for my first pick, I decided to go with G Max Lapras. This is probably one of the best G Max in the format, I would say. My boy Alex in TPL was really destroying teams with this mon. Even if, like, to put it in perspective, even if he had like bad matchups, the fact that you can set screens or set up with like DD and weakness policy, those are like the common sets that he would run. He was able to position himself with an undefeated season so far. We don't know, hopefully we don't lose the finals, right? So yeah, I thought I would give it a try and see if this thing can put in work. Surprisingly, there were a few people that picked tier 1 mons for their D Max. So a few months I was eyeing, like Lando T was already sniped. So I ended up going with Torn T for our second pick. So we already know what Torn T does, good speed tier, flying regenerator mon, gets access to Nasty Plot in this gen, so it has some sweeping potential, some setup. Tailwind for support. Probably not gonna be using that, but we'll see. Anything can happen in draft for sure. So yeah, I wasn't really sure what I wanted as my next mon at this point, because it's gonna take a shit ton of picks before it comes to my turn next, but I was pretty happy getting Torrentee and Lapras. Of course, the downside is both are weak to electric. And for my third pick, I decided to go for Mianchao. Very interesting. I think this is a very good value mon for tier 4. It really stood out. The one interesting thing about the actual draft was I saw Sylveon for tier 4 like on Sunday, and then I like made the list of mons in certain tiers that I'm looking after. And then when the actual draft started, it was in tier 3. So I was like, whoa, you're showing us the tier list, and mons are being moved around left and right. A lot of a good chunk of the mons that I was looking at got moved like up a tier, so I didn't think it was that valued anymore. But yeah, Mianchao, that's going to give us fighting type, good speed tier, 105. Another regen mon, so even if I have like electric weaknesses here, I can slap on like an AV on Mianchao as well as Torrentee, and suddenly they're hitting, very hard, or they can take hits all of a sudden. So there's that, definitely. What else? We got, for our fourth pick, I got Reuniclus. I think this may have been like a misplay of mine picking this, because I maybe should have prioritized the tier 2 mons, because I didn't realize that quickly that the pool for those tiers was as shallow as it was. I kind of got fixated in this pick, because this is gonna be our third regen mon, so only regen for this team. Psychic type as well, so that's gonna cover the weakness of Mianchao. We can set up Trick Room, and this mon can really do work. I'm not sure in this format with max allowed, but definitely once the max of the opponent is used, this mon can just set up and just win the game. So that's a good win condition there. Our next mon is gonna be Comfey. So Comfey is another good value mon that I saw here. This is gonna be my first time using a lot of these mons, like except Torrentee, the 4 other mons, it's gonna be my first time using them. So Comfey, we kind of know what it does, priority draining kiss and giga drain, any form of healing actually. So I would guess aromatherapy is going to be priority. Gets access to Tailwind. I think even Trick Room, if I'm not mistaken, it gets Trick Room as well. So there's that. Very interesting, because it could support Reuniclus in that case, or give a mon like Mianchao Trick Room, right? So very interesting there. Next one we're gonna have Slowbro. Now, at this point, I was really eyeing to get Terrakion for tier 2, but they didn't really update actually the list properly. So there was like a sheet where everyone's picks were there, and then the page where the actual tier list is. It showed that Terrakion was still available, but it was actually picked like in the 4th phase or 5th. So I was like, what? Oh shit. So I thought, I don't know, maybe I'll go for Slowbro. We're kind of memeing at this point. We get another psychic type, another water type, which isn't really great, but it gets a regenerator, another, that is going to be our 4th mon with regen. So similar to the other mons, this mon can also set up Trick Room, take advantage of it, throw some future sights, same with Reuniclus, and yeah, just be annoying to the opponent. Our next mon is gonna be Registeel. So I think this is a decent pick, pretty good pick in my opinion. I was kinda eyeing Cobalion, but it got sniped from me like three or four picks before my turn. So I went with Registeel. Definitely worth it. It gets access to rocks. One of the scariest sets it has is the body pressed Iron Death restock. That's probably going to be a common set that we'll have unless, we can't really bring other rockers. But yeah, that could definitely put in work if that's the case. What other mons? What other things it can do? It gets T-Wave, I guess. Spread status, toxic as well. And yeah, just a general bulk for the team. That's also gonna be handy for like a Dragon Resist and Fairy Resist. We don't really have those at the moment, so Mono Steel is kinda good. We kinda have good teammates for it. We got Watermon, Slowbro to check the fire. We have a flying type here to check the ground, and we also have two psychic types and a flying type for the fighting weakness. So that's all good. Our next month's gonna be Azu. So I kind of wanted like a physical attacker for my tier 2 mon, since Keldeo was available, with a Sacred Sword, but I thought, do I want to get Keldeo? It's water fighting, and we already have a lot of waters here, like 1, 2, 3. Well, in particular, I wasn't really concerned about the water type, but more about the weakness to electric. Because, with Thorn, that's gonna be 4 months weak to it, and we don't really have a resist at the moment. We could patch that up, but we only have like 3 picks left, and we still have other stuff. So instead of Keldeo, I decided to go with Azu, Water Fairy, definitely a better defensive typing, and offensive typing as well. This one can take advantage of Trick Room. It's very slow. We can sweep with like Belly Drum, Aqua Jet, although in a meta where max mons are allowed, that's gonna be a hell of a lot less viable, or very hard to set up, because everything can be in range, and then the max mon comes, you already Belly Drum and they survive, and then your sweep is over. So unfortunate there, but yeah, I would say it was a decent pick, not amazing, definitely. Our next mon's gonna be Piloswine. So this is a interesting mon we got here. It was actually under the NFE banner, so the tier list didn't really show it. So this is one of those mons that if you don't know, now you know. One of the best Eviolite mons, gets knockoff, rocks, Ice Shard. Our team is surprisingly amazing against dragon types, because we have Lapras and Pilo, 2 priority Ice Sharders, and Comfy, which is immunity to dragon and priority draining case. So God help those who are planning to sweep us with like DD sets. That ain't gonna happen. Our next mon here is gonna be Roselia. Now, the reason I picked Roselia is well, it's gonna be another electric resist. We have Piloswine here for the immunity, but I thought Roselia, we need more than one check to electric types, and Roselia kind of fits that. We have the electric resist as well as a grass type, so we can switch into moves like Spore. We get access to spikes as well as T-spikes, so another form of hazard control. I'm not sure if it gets defog, and with Eviolite, this one can be really bulky, hard to take out. We can have like a, what do you call that? We could, set hazards, Leech Seed, Force Switches, get everything in range, and then a mon like, I don't know, Mianxiao or Torrentee can just sweep. So there's probably other better mons to fit the team, but at the point of the draft, I thought Roselia could be a good fit. So we're just gonna have to wait until the games and see if it puts in work. Now our last mon is gonna be Colossal. Oh, sorry, not last. Second to the last, actually. So Colossal. I've used this in one of the previous leagues before, but I kind of dropped out of it, so I didn't really use it like a good portion of the league. Maybe like 3 weeks, but it kind of did enough. And since this is a Gen 8 league, there's no hidden power, so we're not as scared about, ground type moves. If that's the case, we can just check mons that don't really bring ground type moves, and then we can put some work there. Gets access to rocks, spikes, and a spinner. Actually, we can annoy opponents with like flame body. For those who love to pivot with U-turn, we can go flame body on them, and if we get some burns, that could be GG. It's dashing. So with the draft I have here, and picking Lapras as the first pick, I knew, since I already saw my boy Alex win all of his games in season 2. Aside from the finals, we're not there yet. And in season 1, actually, Lapras didn't really look like it had any matchups or bad matchups. Like, the bad matchups it had, it wasn't that bad, especially if you position it correctly. So I knew drafting Lapras that my D-Max mon was gonna be my last pick, because this is gonna be like worst case scenario. If the matchup is too hard, we could get like a secondary mon that can bridge the gap here. And I ended up with Mesprit. So Mesprit is very underrated, actually. A lot of players don't draft Mesprit from the leagues I've been to. Like in our league, 2 seasons, right? 2 seasons with 30 players, no one drafted Mesprit. So I was talking to one of my friends, Matty, and he was like a very, Mesprit enthusiast, if that I'm saying that right, and was telling me to give it a try. So here we are. We could set up with, I don't know, Nasty Plot and CMs, and start throwing some expanding force in terrain that's gonna blow teams out of the water, But I don't know. I'm actually not sure if it gets expanding force. Maybe it does, maybe not. But Psychic's still gonna do some good damage, and we're really gonna use this just in case Lapras is not coming. Most of our games we are bringing Lapras, so that's basically the team. How confident I am with this team? Hard to say. I used Azu in my first league ever, so I would say I've only used I've used Torn and Azu for like a whole season, and then like Colossal as a half season. So the rest are completely new mons. Gonna be fun learning how to play them, how to what synergizes with what, and I wouldn't say I'm too confident about this season. We're probably gonna make playoffs. Like, come on, it's dashing, right? When did we not make playoffs? But we're probably not gonna get like seed number 1. I am expecting some else this season. Especially when we're in the phase of learning the team and all that. But yeah, I'm confident we could have a good run with this team, and we're facing the goons, and this is their format, so they're going to be more familiar with that, and maybe we can see some good plays, make some good plays. So yeah, that's going to be the draft. If you guys like the content, like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.